You're listening to the OMG Hour.
Welcome, everybody, to episode number 313 of the OMG Hour. And today we are your opulently miraculous gifters. And, of course, I am one of your hosts, Sean Evans, otherwise known as Zion Tane.
And I am Tico, Mr. Second Place.
Welcome, Tico. It's the end of the year.
It is.
It is time to look over the year and talk about what our favorites are and maybe give out some awards, maybe have some fun. Maybe
almost like reviewing the year. Maybe?
Almost like it's going to be our 2018 year in review.
That could be, and we both dressed up really nice for the show.
Of course, it is an awards show, so we had to get fancy. Of course,
yeah, we've got to pretend like we're somewhat important.
I mean, aren't we more important than Jeff Keighley?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I mean, probably not.
We're just cooler than him.
Yeah, I'm willing to wear a fancy outfit. For any award show we happen to go on, this one included.
Right. So, included. So we're preparing for when we are on the actual Game Awards. But we're just going to plow ahead. We're not setting a time limit today, but I'm hoping we can get through this in an hour. We've got some fun stuff to do. But it is the year-end show. There will be no show next week, so we're taking some time off with the family for Christmas. And of course, Tico, you celebrate both Hanukkah and Christmas, right?
Yeah, celebrated. Hanukkah's been done for weeks.
Oh, that's right. It is done now, isn't it?
It works off some weird calendar that it's a different time of year, and so we've been finished Hanukkah for several weeks.
Wow, it was that early.
Yeah, it does suck celebrating both, because I've got a child who now expects 8 gifts for Hanukkah and 12 gifts for the 12 days of Christmas. So I'm out 20 gifts for one child.
Oh my gosh.
So it gets
That's
expensive.
Your own fault.
Yeah, I know. I should have forced her into one direction or the other. No, that's never going to work.
No.
I'm happy that we actually get a chance to celebrate both. There's a lot of people who don't get the opportunity to celebrate either. So I'm really glad that we're able to sort of teach Leah about both cultures.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Okay, so we have a good show ahead of you. We're gonna have some fun. So let's get started. Every year during these awards shows, I like to go back in time and look at what were some of the Game of the Years in the past. And of course, the last several years, Sid would do a Lost Treasure for each of them. And so this will be our first year without Sid doing that. So we're just going to go back to the old school. I'm going to tell you what it was. I've got no video for you.
We're just going to talk about it.
We're just going to talk about it. So 5 years ago, I'm going to go through it as I do all the time. 5 years ago, 2013, the Game of the Year was sort of split between The Last of Us and GTA 5.
Yeah, that's the original Last of Us, not the remastered edition.
No. And on our show, we awarded it, Jeff and I, to GTA 5. We had a blast in that game. It was so good. I played that all the way through. It was one of those games that every day I came home, I just had to keep playing. Right? It kept bringing me back for more, and it was so well done.
That was GTA 5 on last gen.
Last gen console.
So that was before they even added the GTA Online to that game.
Well, GTA Online, I believe, did come on the old system. Did it not?
I thought it launched on when they launched it on next gen.
Maybe it did. I honestly
know
don't know.
It wasn't at launch.
It wasn't at launch.
As Rockstar is known to do, saying, "Hey, we're going to have this cool online feature."
Yes.
Eventually.
Yeah. Okay, we're doing a couple new things at the top here. We've got a fun new game we're going to do today.
It's holiday. Relevant, I think.
And Tico, why don't you explain what our new game is, because it's your idea.
Yeah, so we've decided to do we're calling Secret Santa Remastered. So Sean and I, as we tend to do, have these little competitions with 7 degrees and such. So we've decided we have each picked 8 video game characters.
I've got them in a bowl.
I've got them in a funny little thing.
A funny little happy face bowl here.
Yeah,
they're all ready to go.
And we are going to draw a video game character for the other person. We'll do this a few times throughout the show. And present that person's name, and so whatever Sean presents to me, I must now find. I am their Secret Santa. I have to figure out what's the best gift
for that person, for that character. Now, rules. It has to be a real life item. It cannot be a video game item. It has to be something I could go to the store right now and buy for this character. You can
add it to your Amazon cart.
Yes.
We're last second shopping for these guys, so we have to be able to add this to your Amazon cart.
Exactly.
And use the 2-day shipping method and get it here just in time.
All right. I've got 8 names in here.
Okay.
There's all the paper.
We may have some crossover. If we do crossover a name,
we'll pick another name.
We will draw again.
Which is why we're going to do this 3 times to the show, but we've each picked 8 names, so it's very random. All right. First name for you, Tico. There you go. Kratos.
Kratos.
You must buy something for Kratos.
Kratos, the god of war.
The god of war. You are his Secret Santa.
All right. So, based off of everything I know about Kratos, he never wears a shirt. Okay? So I imagine he's probably a little cold this time of year.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I would get him a festive Christmas sweater.
Excellent.
Nice. In size, I'm going to say, with the biceps and everything like that, get him in at least a double XL to make sure he doesn't at least
now
in a little coat. That thing.
Is it sparkly? Does it have lights on it? Is it fancy?
Of course. No, this is a festive sweater. I mean, it's got the thing. It's got the little button so it lights up and reindeer, and it's a full on Christmas sweater for
good.
His family. Sit down meal.
Good. I like it. And I think Kratos would appreciate it.
All right, so we are drawing your first name.
Yes, draw my. Who am I Secret Santa for?
So your first Secret Santa, and I actually went all in. I actually got these things. So this is
Sub-Zero.
Sub-Zero from the Mortal Kombat franchise.
Wow. Well, gosh, of course you have to pick that because now my mind is thinking sweater, just like you just said, right? So now I have to think of something else. You know what? I am going to get Sub-Zero. I'm going to get him a crock pot.
Okay.
Because he's so cold, he probably wants something warm, but every time he goes to make food, he's going to freeze it, right? So
it's going to be very cold.
It's going to be cold. So I'm going to get him a crock pot where he can put some stew on, let it stew during the day, really heat up, make a really good soup or a good chili. Yeah. When he's done beating up Scorpion and all that, he can and killing Raiden and biting his head off or whatever he does. Ripping his head. I'm sure he doesn't bite his head off. He probably rips it off.
I think in some of them he bites his head off.
Oh, well, then. I'm gonna, he can go back home to a nice hot soup or a hot chili.
That would be, I mean, occasionally they have some allies in this thing. He could maybe around the Christmas season
have some friends over.
He does a friendship at the end of the match, and invites Scorpion over for a nice bowl of chili.
Instead of a fatality, it's a friendship.
Instead of a fatality, it's a friendship.
Yes,
and we're really old because we remember when they had those in games.
So a crock pot.
Crockpot.
That's done. What I'm getting. Sub-Zero.
That's a good gift for Sub-Zero.
All right. Good. All right. Now let's get into our first of the awards. One of my favorites is always the biggest surprise and the biggest disappointment. So let's start with our biggest surprise this year. For me personally, it is. It's that. How do you call it? It's a story novel game. It was called The Council. We talked about it earlier in the year. It was a 5-episode story. The 5th episode just came out. That game so surprised me. I had no idea what I was going into, but I played that first chapter twice, completely, all the way through, because I was so fascinated in the story and the characters that I kind of wanted to see what would happen when I chose different outcomes. Second time through, I actually got what I feel is the better ending for that chapter, which is the one I continued on into chapter 2.
And have you finished all 5 now?
I haven't finished. I haven't actually finished episode 2. Like those games, like Batman, like the Telltale games. Yeah. That's the word I was looking for. It's similar to the Telltale style games.
The interactive storytelling games.
Although this one had a lot more RPG elements to it. You could choose different skills, which is what I really liked about it. And the skills actually directly impacted what you could or couldn't do in the story, or it impacted certain dialogue choices. you know, which really changed the story to your character and your playthrough, to you as the player. So the Council really surprised me. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I felt it kind of took the Telltale quality games and just gave it a really good step up.
Yeah.
You know?
And now that it's all out, I believe they've actually had that on sale a couple of times for the full package.
It is
as well.
absolutely worth playing.
Yeah.
I loved it. I think it's fantastic. Really fascinating story.
Yeah, I enjoyed that one as well. I have not made it past the first episode, but now that it is all out,
yeah.
I'm more likely with these games to, once the whole season is out.
Yes.
I'll play through the whole thing almost in like 1 or 2 days.
Yeah, because each chapter in these games are typically like, what, say
2 to 3 hours.
Max 2 to 3 hours. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and then it leaves you want. It's like, okay, great. When can I do the next piece? And it's like
6 weeks. Yeah,
6 weeks. Okay, well, that sucks.
Yeah.
So mine was a game called Dead Cells.
Yes, I've heard so many good things about Dead Cells.
It sort of came out of nowhere. Wasn't expecting it. I also heard many good things. I'm like, I'm going to give this a try. It is a Metroidvania style roguelike, and I know you're not a huge fan of those, and I'm generally not either, but it just, like, even as many times as I died, it was so satisfying to be able to get a little bit further and to get those extra weapons and to be able to get those couple of steps further. Yeah. You do pick up you're playing as the same character, so you unlock certain skills at a certain point, and those stay unlocked. So certain abilities and stuff will stay unlocked.
A lot of people loved this game this year, and I have not had an opportunity to play it. So, you know, I'm going to keep an eye on it, and if you know, when it goes on sale, maybe I'll check it out.
On sale right now on the Xbox store.
Is it? Is it in games for Pass yet? Or Xbox? What's
Game Pass?
Not yet. Pass. Games for Pass.
Not yet.
Games for Gold.
Games for Pass. No, it is not in that yet. It is on sale. I don't know what the sale is because unfortunately, once you already own it, you just see that it's in there and that I already own it. But great game, and out on obviously the PlayStation and the Switch as well.
And why don't you continue on with your biggest disappointment this year?
So I have a couple of games. One is Just Cause 4. I was really excited about that game. And it feels like they've changed the formula just enough. They've made it a little bit darker, and they've changed the formula just enough to take the fun out of it.
Right.
And because
it was always meant to be humorous and fun and just
over
the top, tongue in cheek. You know,
yeah, and that's what it is. And it just feels like it's this ruthless South American dictator that you're up against and everything like that. And it just feels like they've tried to take it as sort of a darker turn.
Right.
You know, some of the fun little things, like there's the areas where you just go and just like, I have to take out all these speakers and the propaganda van and all of it, and that element is gone from the game, and so it just doesn't feel satisfying. Like I would go, like I'd clear out a zone. Like that's one of the things. It's almost like collectibles. You clear out the zone. Like I got to clear out that encampment, then that one.
Right.
And they've sort of taken that. You can still do that, but it just doesn't feel like you don't get the same satisfaction of going through and doing it.
Yeah, I also have two, and we'll save the other one.
Yeah, because it's a shared one.
We have a shared one. My second one is The Crew 2. Now, while I wasn't a huge fan of The Crew, I was really excited for The Crew 2 for several reasons. One is the addition of the boats and planes, which I thought, like, for me, boats and plane racing is I love doing that as much as I love racing. Vehicle racing. So adding them to it sounded amazing. The boat one is done fairly well. The plane one, not so much. It feels awkward to race the planes. But the other reason I was excited for it was because typically Ubisoft improves the second game in a series 100-fold from the original.
Yeah.
And I don't feel that's the case with The Crew 2. I found it much more cut up than the first one even. You know? There's things in the world to go do, but there's no reason for me to just drive around, because it's just go to the map, choose a race, and do it. There was
Yeah,
no like drive from here to here and
to get there. Like
there's no reason to drive anywhere.
I guess it's sort of like the RPG element of like, why am I going to this area? What's my motivation? What's my character's motivation to get from here to here?
There is none.
And you don't need to use the map. Like you can just open up the next race and start it, and which is I guess nice to do if you don't feel like doing all that driving around. But when you compare it to a game like the Forza series,
right?
Like particularly Horizon, where they've got this whole story around the whole event.
Yep. And races are not across the country. It's like down the street. So I'm driving down the street to the next race. Whereas
it feels like it gives you more motivation to continue to play it, whereas when it's just like go race to race, it's the fun of it sort of goes away.
Yeah, and just there was no purpose to the Crew 2. Like I didn't know why, other than they're races, but they're trying to shoehorn a story in that just didn't make sense.
Yeah,
and I wasn't sure. What am I working for you guys? Am I trying to be the best here, or am I trying to be the best here? What is it you're trying to tell me here? I didn't get it. Anyway, The Crew 2, disappointment. Major disappointment, I think, for the both of us.
Yeah.
And I don't think this is a surprise to any of you listening. It's Red Dead Redemption 2.
And for me, I don't necessarily know if it's because of what Red Dead Redemption 2 is, but moreover from what the first one was and how much I got into that and how much I played that. And I just felt like this one here was more, like at least the early bits. And again, I do have to get some more time into that. But
that's the problem with it. I want to put more time into it, but we've said it over and over, and I don't want to beat a dead horse. It feels like a chore playing the game.
Yeah, literally a chore. Like
in some cases,
wash the dishes or whatever. Like it's
shave,
cowboy chore simulator, and I think that this thing it doesn't pull you into the story right away.
I don't care about the characters.
Yeah, and from what I've heard, like Chapter 2 and 3, once you get past that initial thing, it improves. But I think that's why it's a disappointment. It did nothing to pull us into the game. It did nothing to make it like the first one I played nonstop.
Right, I was into it from the moment John Marsden got off the train.
Yeah. Like I wanted to get to the next zone and then the next area, and I wanted to shoot the Yetis in the Bigfoot in the thing. Like I wanted to do everything. This one does not make me want to do it. It feels like, and particularly since, like, hey, there's a thing here. Oh, the other side of the map? Yeah, you're gonna have to go there.
Right. Yes.
Nothing's going to happen in between. You're just going to ride your horse and occasionally get thrown from it violently for no apparent reason.
Or maybe get attacked by some bandits who, by the way, killed me in one shot before I even had a chance to pull my gun.
Yeah, I had that happen a few times too. Where
like, are you serious? They literally came out of nowhere, took a shot, and I was dead. I had 0 response time. It was ridiculous. Like, what? Yeah. Anyway, Red Dead Redemption 2, big disappointment. And really because I was so looking forward to this game for, 2 years?
I think that might be more part of it, too, is because we anticipated this so much. It could be a scenario where we just wanted it so badly to be what we were expecting.
Well, it's not that. I think the game itself... this is the way I kind of describe it to myself. The game is brilliant visually. Okay?
Yeah.
It is a stunning game. It's well put together. It is a modern game in terms of visual style. Okay? And the power it's using. But I feel like it's an 8-year-old game in terms of controls. And I say this because I'm not just saying this to complain. Let me quantify this. I am a developer, okay? Part of what I do is designing things that make sense. The controls in this game don't make sense when you compare them to other modern games, right? There are too many controls. There's no reason why there has to be that many controls to do what you want to do.
Yeah. It does.
It's overly complicated.
Points where I can't remember how to start the Deadeye stuff because I'm like, okay, I'm looking at like it's like a combination of two buttons or something like that. And I end up doing something which, I shot a guy in the face by accident because I was trying to do something else. Like I was supposed to be shooting crows, so I went to start my Deadeye and I accidentally punched a guy who was I was like an NPC, and so he got mad and pulled his gun, so I had to murder him.
But there's little things like pressing R2 to talk to somebody, which is the same button you use to shoot people.
Yeah, that's not a good idea.
Who thought that was a good idea? Since when do you pull the right trigger to talk to people? It's so backwards, Tico.
Not a good plan.
Anyway,
Yes.
let's move on to the I'm Still Not Convinced award,
All right.
which we are both awarding to Fallout 76.
Yes.
We both played it. We both enjoyed the initial hours.
Yes.
But then very quickly just like, meh.
Once it gets into that, and it like the first hours have the parts of Fallout that I like, and then once you get past that, it's the parts of the previous Fallout games that I've really not enjoyed, which is the build a house, build a zone, build an area, build a hospital, build a whatever.
Just have some stranger come along and destroy your buildings.
Yeah.
Why? Because they can.
They can. Yeah, they can do it. There's very little reason for them not to.
Why? Why would anyone find that enjoyable?
Yeah.
What's there to enjoy in being in a game where someone can just come out and murder you for no reason and destroy what you've been working on for the last hour?
Yeah, that game, there's a few other issues. I mean, Bethesda's had some issues with their Collector's Edition, cheaping out on content from their Collector's Edition. Loot crates now are paid cosmetic items are very... Like, they're not cheap. Like, you can get yourself a hat for, like, $6. I can buy an actual hat for less than the cost of a hat.
Oh, my gosh. $6 for a cosmetic hat.
Well, I'm not.
Wow.
I don't. Maybe not exactly $6, but it's a very expensive game if you want all of those little things.
Yeah.
To add to your experience, which that is what that game is. It is basically a game where like you want to differentiate yourself and your area as much as possible. It's expensive to do that, and for a full price game, it's a problem.
Yeah, I get wanting to make an MMO out of Fallout. They did the same thing with Elder Scrolls Online, and for all intents and purposes, they're doing well as an MMO. I get they kind of wanted to do the same thing, but in the world of Fallout, an MMO really means that the characters in the game are other players. I get the idea behind it. I just don't think it's coming together all that well. And as our award says, I'm still not convinced about this game. I don't have any reason to go back to it at this point.
They are working on it daily. They are adding new content. They are attempting to fix things. They are apparently listening to the community and working on that. So I will give it another try. They did fix their little collector's edition snafu after a lot of complaints online for that. But this is a game too that shortly after release it sort of falls by that Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefront thing. Like less than a month from release, it was on sale for $30 from $79 down to $30, which tells you that they are. I mean, particularly games that need a base number of players like this to survive. That's why you saw a drop, is because they need to get that base number of players up to keep people interested.
To keep people, exactly. Because you need players in the game.
Yeah.
All right. Retro Replay. We've got another game of the year. This is from 10 years ago, 2008. Interestingly enough, 5 years before GTA 5 was Game of the Year, GTA 4 was Game of the Year, as well as Fallout 3. So 2008 was Fallout, and Fallout 3 was a great game.
Fallout 3 was fantastic.
Yeah. That introduced the VATS system, which came back with 4. But yeah, GTA 4 and Fallout 3 were Game of the Year 10 years ago in 2008. Tico.
Yes.
It's time for some more Secret Santa Remastered.
Let's do it. All right. Am I drawing first this time?
Sure. Why don't you draw first this time?
All right, let's. Sub-Zero's out of there now, so you won't get him again.
And hopefully I don't get Kratos.
You did not get Kratos.
Who did I get? I got Sonic.
Sonic the Hedgehog, by the way, in
that's-
case you're thinking. Not Sonic the burger joint in the States, Sonic the
That's
Hedgehog.
easy. That is easy. You know, it's funny. As I was going through lists of characters, Sonic was one of the characters I thought of. I didn't write it, which is
Yeah.
funny. But as soon as I saw Sonic, I instantly thought of something I would get Sonic. I'd get him a new pair of shoes. I mean, he's got to
get him
He's
shoes.
got to be going through those things so quickly, right?
Oh yeah, I mean the speed. I mean, we've seen this in the Flash, where he went through shoes until they fixed that problem.
Exactly. So I mean, Sonic's got to be going through shoes. So I'd pick him up a good pair of maybe some Saucony runners. You know, something that's going to last, something that's got good grip, because he needs to go fast. You know,
and
He needs-
comfortable. You
and
need comfortable,
fast, comfortable. You know, valuable and look good. Saucony's look good. They've got great colors.
I am really surprised that a shoe company has not licensed him for
Sonic?
for as a spokesperson or for a shoe yet.
Right. But there you go. Some Saucony runners for
All right.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
All right.
All right. Your next one out of the smiley
out of
face,
the bowl.
out of the smiley bowl,
All
I
right.
will choose this one.
All right.
This is, I got two of them in there. There we go.
Just one. Just need one.
Oh, one of my favorites, Aloy.
Aloy
Yeah.
from the Horizon Zero Dawn.
Of course, you have to know Aloy was like the first name I wrote, right?
Yes. Yes. It's funny because she's in my bucket as well.
Ah.
So I was
Yes.
kind of curious what you would get her.
Well, now I need to know what you would buy Aloy.
All right, Aloy. Now, she is a very attractive young lady. So I, would probably just go the route of getting her a lovely pair of diamond earrings,
Wow.
hoping that sort of opens the door a little bit towards,
A little something extra.
little something extra. I mean, the ladies, do tend to like jewelry, so maybe,
Wow. Going all out for Aloy.
listen, my wife's not going to listen to this show, so I'm pretty safe in saying that right now.
Wow. You also have to remember that Aloy carries a bow and arrow, so you got to be careful.
If you're giving her diamond earrings, I'm pretty sure you're on her good side. And they could be used as, to repair some of the technology and stuff like that too. I'm sure they could use as conductors.
Yeah, she may not know what they were, but that would be a nice gesture for sure.
She'd appreciate it, I think.
Excellent. All right, back to the awards. This time we're going to give out the Controller Chucker Award. This is the game that was so frustrating. We really just wanted to throw the controller through the TV.
Yes, and I have a nice TV, so I try not to do that.
Yeah. All right. For me, my first one, I have two. Did you drop your drink again?
I didn't drop my drink. The coaster stuck to the bottom of it, and when I was trying to remove it, it spilt a little.
So you don't need your robe this time?
No, it's not that bad.
Okay. Anyway, I have two again. My first Controller Chucker Award is one of the games we saw at PAX East. Yoku's Island Express. This was the silly pinball
bug game.
Yeah. And it just got to the point where the ball was stuck in these pits, and no matter how I hit it, it just wouldn't go where I wanted, and I'm pressing buttons, I'm trying different things, and it's just like, oh my gosh, I think I may have actually turned off my Switch. I think I have it on Switch.
You have it on Switch?
I think I can't remember if it's Switch or PS4 I have it.
That's even worse. That's throw your console.
Oh my gosh, right?
That's a console Chucker Award, not just controller.
But I actually turned that game off like in a rage quit. I just got so unbelievably frustrated with it.
Did you go back to it at all?
Never.
Or is that the last time you
No,
played it?
I have never played it
done.
since.
It is dead to you now.
Oh, it is. No, I have zero desire to go back to that game.
All right. Well, mine is actually a recent release. Thankfully, it was free, included with Game Pass.
Oh, good.
So it is no funds changed hands on this. Mutant Year Zero.
Oh, that is a recent release. Like the last 3 weeks.
Yes. So the game is really fun. It's a really cool concept. The difficulty spikes super fast.
Oh, I hate games like that.
Like it gets to the point where like it's like, okay, yeah, these first, oh, that was fun, that was really neat, you do this and you do this, and then it's like, and now we're gonna make it really hard for you.
And now you're done your tutorial. Good luck.
Yeah, and now like I've been on the same battle for about a week and a half.
Oh my gosh.
And I've gone back in like a few times. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give it a try. Maybe if I try this, and I cannot figure out what I'm doing wrong. Every time I try to kill this guy, I hit him, and then it's one of those like your shots are chance rolls. Okay. So I'll hit him with the first shot from the first guy, and then the second shot from the second guy, and then the third one, like the sliver of health left, and you hit, it's a chance roll, miss.
Yeah.
And then
they kill you, right?
Well, then they like alert the rest of the thing, and like
you get swarmed.
By like 7 guys who are like sitting in the back of the van or something like that, get out, and they're like it becomes, and it just every time it's done this every time. Like I cannot figure out a good way to take this guy out.
This is like consistent no matter how many times you play through it.
I've done this a number of times. I've tried attacking from different vantage points. I've tried like stun grenade first, and like no matter what I do, somehow it does not do enough damage to him. And there's nowhere you can go. Like once you clear a zone, like the enemies are gone from that zone. So it's not like you can replay an area to level your guy up so you can get through these things. My guys are just not strong enough. To do it. So it has been very frustrating. And again, like 6 or 7 times the same thing. And it's again, I go through, I play, I die. I'm like, and I'm done with this, and I back to the home screen.
Literally, you're chucking your controller.
Yeah.
Second, I don't know if this is a surprise either. Red Dead Redemption 2 is a controller chucker game for me.
Yeah.
Because of the complicated controls and honestly, just how slow the pace of the game is. The pace of even the character. Especially when you're in the camp and it feels like he's walking a centimeter a minute.
Yeah.
Like it's so slow. Like, can you just pick up your feet and walk, please?
For me, it's more frustrating on, like, I've traveled halfway to a zone I want to get to, and my horse trips over a rock, throws me from the horse, and like somehow
you die.
Okay, yeah, you die. It's like, oh, I hit a bush. Just like it's just like super easy to fall. Like you go down a hill, and all of a sudden your horse is head over heels and like lands on you and kills you. It's a super easy way to I've gotten very frustrated with it the number of times. I'm like, and after that death, I'm done with it, and I'd like turn it off and move on to the next game.
Awesome. All right, I'm noticing that a lot of our awards at the beginning of the show here are a little down, like negative. So
yes.
Let's talk a little bit more positive for a minute.
Yes.
And before we get to another sort of negative one. Next
it's
one.
Not negative.
It's not negative. It's just fun. It's fun. By the way, here's one just for me. And the next award is just for you. So this award is the I'm Still Glad I Bought VR award.
Yes.
So there's been some great VR titles. They're still coming out with some throughout the year. Not as many as I'd like, to be honest. There's still no like huge AAA title, which is unfortunate. But I still don't regret buying VR. The 2 games that are fantastic this year, one was earlier in the year. Now, this title, it's called The Invisible Hours. This is actually a 2017 title, but I didn't play it until this year, which is why I'm putting it in the list. The Invisible Hours. Absolutely fantastic. This isn't really a game per se. This was sort of an interactive movie.
Yeah. It's like Clue, sort of the...
Well... You didn't have to do anything except move the camera and you were essentially in the movie watching the events take place.
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, there were puzzles in it. There were puzzles in it where you had to figure some things out. But you were sort of the spectator watching these events play themselves out, and there were like 7 different characters, and at any point in the story, you could go to any location in this island that you're on and watch the events play from any character's point of view. And what was fantastic is if the main action, say, were taking place down the foyer, but one of the characters is up in their room, you could go to the room and see, well, what were they doing at this point? And every character in this movie is doing something at every moment during the story. Right?
It's like one of those. It is so like one of those movies where you see something happen. It says, but we go back and we'll rewind and see it from this person's point of view.
Absolutely,
and
exactly.
You keep doing it that way.
And I found it so fascinating. I spent so many hours in there. I finished every achievement. Like I was having so much fun that I would go back and forth and back and forth.
Yeah.
Even just to get the achievements. But I loved being able to rewind the story and then watch that segment from over there. Yeah. You know, and watch, where was this guy? And I would follow him through the house during the same moments that I had just watched somewhere else. And you discover, what was he doing?
I see. He said he was taking a nap, but really?
Absolutely. And that's exactly the kind of thing that would happen.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. He just said he was doing this, but I just followed him into the library and he was doing something else. Or what's he doing? You know what?
Yeah.
So good. So well done. And it was amazing. And it was just so immersive. The second one is actually the one that won VR Game of the Year at the Game Awards. Okay. And that's Astrobot Rescue Mission. And this is, it's a 3D platformer. So imagine you are controlling like a Mario, it's a Mario style 3D platformer.
Yep.
But the world is all around you, and you're like, what? You're controlling the character, but you're like looking up as he goes across this platform up top, and then he jumps down, and you're looking down as you control him way down there, and you're just like, you're looking around, okay, where do I need to get him? And you're looking around this world. So you are, again, you're in this three-dimensional world that's all around you, but you're controlling the Astrobot to try to save all the other bots and get from point A to point B. Right, so it is a platformer, but you are in the world, and there are interactive pieces where you actually interact with it with your head, right? So you have to like knock things to turn things around for the guy.
Yeah.
Right. So it is so much fun, really well done. Like one of the best VR games I've played, and it's just really well done. Really well done platformer, but the way it immerses you in the platformer is really innovative.
Very cool.
So there you go. That is I'm still glad I bought VR award.
All right. So I came up with I only played it for the achievement award or the Avatar award
Avatar award. Nice.
As I believe I called it when I pitched this idea to you. So I've got a couple of these. I obviously did a lot of achievements in Gamerscore, and during the contest was
pressed a lot of buttons.
Yeah, I was really pushing towards this. So the first one is the Gnome Garden series. Now Gnome Garden is
Garden Gnome.
Gnome Garden.
Gnome Garden, okay.
Gnome Garden. So this is a like a Kingdoms of Keflings type of game. So there's a big map and you have to collect resources and build things. So it's spinning back and forth, clicking on this, tell these guys to go build a house over here, then collect wood over here, and then clear a path over here, and then you got to collect stone over here to do this. So there is 4 games in the Gnome Garden series.
Oh, did you play all of them?
That's why I said the series, not just Gnome Garden.
Oh my gosh.
Gnome Garden series. So there are 4 games in the Gnome Garden series. I have played all of them without having to play through the full game. You can get an easy 700 gamer score for each one of these games. And so I played these all back to back to back to back in order
just to get about 700 gamer score
from each. Now that's like 2,400 gamer, which is not bad.
Sure.
When you're popping that in. And I only played these. Like the games are not that bad. To be entirely honest, I don't mind that, and they're great games if you just want something to play while you're watching TV or something like that. It's just an easy click back and forth, click back and forth. They're not difficult games. There's no lose scenario.
I want Kingdom of Keflings VR is what I want.
That would be fun.
Like seriously, that was the whole point. Is you were picking them up and putting them places.
Yeah.
Why is that not in VR?
Make it. Get it done. Whoever makes that game. Arrange for that to happen. All right, the next one, and I will preface this by the fact that I will say that this game was a game I purchased for my daughter.
Sure.
She is a huge fan of this. This is the only reason I purchased this.
Sure.
I did purchase this on disc, and I purchased this on disc so she could play it in the other room. but I did bring the disc in here and play this so I could get the gamer score on it, and I do have the full 1,000 gamer score on Paw Patrol on a roll. It is one of the most brutal licensed games I've ever played. It is bad. It's basically running and collecting dog biscuits and coins from one side to the other.
We have to preface this with, I believe this is a preschooler's game.
It is, to the point that I recall Stallion 83.
Yes.
People may know as one of the top gamer score guys. Oh, he is the top gamer score, and the guy first to hit 2 million gamer score just recently this year. Requested a copy of this for review, and the publisher said,
no,
it's not for you.
Yeah, basically.
This game is not for you, and would not give him a code for it.
Oh my
gosh. A guy who
gosh.
just plays games for gamer score, they would not give him a code for this to review this game. That's how low level this game is. They did not think that a review by him would help their cause, because he's not who they're selling it to.
Is this worse to you than, like, should we rename this now to the Paw Patrol Award?
So here's the thing. I bought this game for Leah.
Well, that's what you say. That's what you say.
No,
anyway.
I swear she plays this thing
we
once
don't
or
believe
twice
you,
a week.
Chico. We don't believe you.
I'll get her in here. And she won't leave. So that will, it's not as bad. Avatar, like people played Avatar for 30 seconds.
Oh yeah,
tapped the button a bunch of times, and then that's it. Then they were done with that game. This took me an hour and a half to finish the full game.
Yeah, Avatar I think was like 2 minutes and you're done.
It was 30 seconds. It was literally 30 seconds.
There was cutscenes though. You had to wait for some cutscenes, so that's why
30 seconds of gameplay.
That's why I say about 2 minutes total.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's run to the left, tap B a whole bunch of times.
Then watch a cutscene, and then keep tapping B, and you're done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that one there, literally, I don't know if anybody actually bought that any reason other than Gamerscore.
Well, I don't think you and I even bought it. Didn't we bring our memory card into the shop?
We did.
Into the store?
We brought our memory card into the store, popped it in, played it in the store.
For 2 minutes, and we're done. We got 1,000 gamer score. Then took our gamer score home.
Yep.
Excellent. All right, let's move it on to another retro replay, this time for game